Alright guys, we're gonna get started in a minute here. 4 minutes. About 4.5 minutes. So yeah, 32 people in here, 5 likes. Guys, smash the like button. Post on Twitter that we're gonna be live. Peter Schiff posted on Twitter, disgraceful. CNBC gave their favorite Bitcoin pumper Sailor more challenged their time to spread lies about Bitcoin and bash gold. CNBC even let him get away with bragging that borrowing to buy Bitcoin was the best. Being down 30%. Oh man, some beef there. Usually these guys are, friendly behind the scenes. They're friends with their opponents behind the scenes, but no. Let's see. YouTube in 3 minutes. And oh man, what kind of music do we want to play? So we're basically, I said we've been in, essentially in a recession since we lost 370 on the SPY. People are starting to finally say we're in a recession now. So yeah, we're in a recession. And let's see here, what do we want to, let's do the 528 hertz. Calming music. We need some calming music for these crazy times. It's still the same one from yesterday. Some profits were already taken on the Bitcoin, the $100,000 one yesterday. We'll talk about it. It's not. There's a lot of fear right now. Although there's been a lot of fear for a while. Yeah, if you're just trading based on fundamentals, spa day music. Yeah. What's up, Ahmad? We got a lot of people in here, so it's gonna be a nice stream. I got a lot to talk about today. We'll go through a lot of things. Let me get a quick drink of water or something. Last 30 seconds. Alrighty, guys. What's up? Let's get right into it. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this lovely afternoon here. It's one of those times where we're officially, I guess, in a recession. What everybody's saying, although for anyone who kind of knew, to look at things, kind of knew this for the past few days. or a few weeks for that matter, kind of past week, I'd say. And yeah, tough market. Yeah, tough market. I think what's most likely going to happen, for the next, we're way overdue. Okay, so this is kind of the long position. Some profits where I'm still figuring out how to use this exchange ACAP. This is for charity, so I'm being obviously kind of using it as a gamble. This 10 grand, this account is a gambling account. It's actually 11. So took a bunch of about 10%, profits, got up to 11K, and now the equity is a bit below. But if we can pump up to where my profits will be taken, which is at I'm on the Bitstamp chart. Let me go to the ACAP chart, and it'll show you, right here, these areas where we want to take the profits. Then we could which is definitely possible. Kind of got robbed on this one. I really, pretty much exactly, just maybe teeny weeny, maybe 50 cents below that point. It does happen. I got robbed. And that would have been, a big portion of the position. And this would have, this account size would probably be around 15 grand right now, to donate about 5 grand to a charity, to the Cancer Research Institute. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but that's the way the game happens sometimes. So, well, there is the main thing you guys wanted to see, rare bullish sign, and what's happening here, and it's printing on ETH before it's printing on Bitcoin. But look, so we have a bullish div printing on the daily on ETH, and it's one of those deep bullish divs with two deep anchor waves. And look, I mean, this brought us out of our mini bear market here. See, coming up two deeper anchor waves. This is even stronger though, because you got the 2 green dots under this. This doesn't count. That's just because this one's lower than that one. Not a real bullish div. And let's look at times where we're in deep in the red here. I mean, this brought us to kind of a bottom, at least a local bottom in December 2019, where we rallied up for about 3 months here. So not saying that's going to happen, but we definitely could see some type of rally. Look, guys, I mean, I guess you're talking about you could call the Fed and what's going on white swan events. I guess definitely not black swan events. That could be the argument to take us down more. But I mean, just look at how strong kind of these fib levels are. I mean, look at how price reacts off of them typically. You could easily have something like this where we come right back up to 1600 here on ETH. And that's why I'm giving the longs a shot here. And a few of those times it may not look like you're going to come back up. It may not look. It could be something like this too, where you come down, hoping this is. That was a big wick down. If we have something like that, ooh, that may not be. Yeah, think about that. Then you come back down, then it kind of scam wick down there. It happens. It's part of the game. It's all about risk management, but. Yeah, I mean, this one does this confirm? 4 hours. That confirms in 4 hours. For it to not confirm, we'd have to break downward in 4 hours. What is my prognosis in the next 4 hours? Probably a little bit more bullish. You do have money flow coming up on a lot of these time frames. Sideways to a bit more bullish. You're due for it to be boring too. This is one of those situations where just not too much happens. So yeah. That's Ethereum, and let's look at the Bitcoin chart right now. So we're on our, let's look at on this one. Let's go to our Bitstamp on this one. So, and there are a couple trades I'm in Nix's Discord. Haven't had an outcome on them yet, but things are looking okay. Things are looking all right. The shorts have been doing incredible, but the long positions had a few good scalps, but it's been tough to long. I'm not gonna lie, it's been a tough environment to go long during, and people act very deterministic on both sides. Some people are very deterministic on downward, some people are very deterministic on upward, and really at the end of the day, there's a lot of moving parts, a lot of factors that are just outside of our control, and that's the importance of never risking more than you are comfortable losing on any particular trade here. So what do we have in terms of where we are right now? So we had a nice perfect bounce off spider line. These do in our big rallies downward, these spider lines do technically mark bottoms. If we go back to say we'd have to go kind of far back on the 45 minute, but look at even this one right here that marked a nice bottom May 12th. around 25. That was that one. That wasn't even that long ago. But well, I want to go like way back to like, where we were back in these. I'm trying to find, I mean, this one, see, they mark those bottoms, and all we need to, win our charity trade right here is to come up to 23K approximately. So I think it's a little bit more likely than not, definitely. I mean, that's what we're looking at. The other thing too, more of, the long-term perspective. And what's interesting, I mean, your 6-day, we're not really looking at, it's not looking like we're hitting a bottom, just yet. This confirms in 1 day. Your yellow X here. Looks like you got a few more months of carnage. You got to get deep into the red here for a situation where we're bottoming out. If you look at the 10-day as well, you got to get into the red. You got to get into the red to really bottom out here. So, that's a few more months. But in the meantime, would it make sense to rally back up to 26K or 28K? Absolutely. Nothing really goes down in a straight line like that. It's very rare. Your 4-hour. I mean, you confirmed a nice bullish div on your 4-hour yesterday. Came up a bit from that. This is curving back up, this VWAP. You may get another bullish div here, and we're very deep. We're very deep in the money flow here. Just look at this. We're about at this level. Last time this happened, you came up a bit more. You came up. You did come back down here, but you did come up, and it was enough to win, a little long on the way up. Also 4 yellow X's. It's a decent sign. So, just looking at this, 30-minute places to look to go long now if you're not, in a trade. Not financial advice as always, but I would say your 30 minutes a good place. Money flow crossover there. Probably also your 15-minute money flow crossover, which could happen in a couple hours. One of these ones into the green is going to bring you up a little bit more than just a couple percentage points like that. One of them will work very well. This one didn't work. Most of them in this environment have not worked. One of them will. So yeah. 2-day as well. This is curving up. This VWAP's curving up on your 2-day. When could we get that deep, bullish div? Kind of the same thing. Kind of the same thing we had in our mini bear market over the summer. Deep in the red now. We didn't really get that. We didn't get this type of situation until now. So, think about it this way. I mean, nobody's, the masses, the majority of people in this game are not going to get the bottom. They're also not going to get the top. So, you have to be creative with it. You definitely have to be creative with it. I still have some shorts in. I will look to add to them after they hit the next take profit at about 20K flat. So, yeah. Your 6-minute does look pretty good here. Generally just good curvature, momentum waves coming up. You'll probably just bounce around a bit more. Do we have any? Yeah, I mean, that's our big area that we got to mess with. And you'll probably bounce around this area for some time. That's just one of those like more boring situations. So, yeah. Let's see. Crypto Dylan. Yeah, the DXY is actually starting to go down, which is another good sign. Bears do need to go into hibernation. Yeah, that's interesting. I know Ben Cowan was posting about that with the Bitcoin USD to M2 money supply. So yeah, we're basically where we're at right now is essentially factoring inflation 17K. So that's the other thing to factor in too. I mean, inflation is at high levels. There's an argument to be made that, and I know it's going to sound, a lot of hopium, a little crazy, but there's an argument to be made that, this is kind of it. And the Fed could try, but it's not going to work. And your 20K was your bottom, and Bitcoin somehow made it. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen. I do think most likely we'll go a bit lower. I mean, just based on how the technicals are, it's going to take, some more to really bottom out based on, kind of the 10-day and the 6-day. and that would probably give you a bottom, probably around 12K. Honestly, it seems like in a few more months, the way I've been mapping it out, 12K. But yeah, it's hot out. It's hot out. There's a white peak right there, but yeah. So that area, 12K. Yes, it can. Yeah, you could go all the way back on market cipher. Yeah. I might be having a drink tonight. Actually, might be having a drink tonight. That's what I'm hoping, just Johnny. So let's see. Yeah, rocking the beater today. Yeah. Crow is like every other altcoin, I believe. There's no reason to get into altcoins at the moment. There's a lot of reasons to be a big Bitcoin maximalist right now and just get as much Bitcoin as you can right now, just so, because think about it this way, like a lot of people, when Bitcoin was at 60K, when it was at 50K, when it was at 40K, even 30K, the average person doesn't have 30K to just throw into Bitcoin. However, a lot of people probably have 20K. Even like the middle class or the upper middle class, as long as you're responsible, you have 20K to put into a highly speculative asset, and you could own a full Bitcoin now. I think if you have that opportunity to do so, you should probably do it. And you should probably put that on a hardware wallet, and you should probably, know how to secure it well, and just try to keep that forever, just to say you're a full coiner, because there's going to be a time where that's not going to be possible. At least I think so, unless you're, Peter Schiff, unless you're, into that. But I mean, if you're into this enough, that's probably the time to stack Bitcoin. Now, I'll talk about it, for been talking about it a lot. I'll talk about it again, soup, because it's just so important. Well, let's look at Bitcoin dominance. The best time, this Bitcoin dominance looks like it's just going to go up more. We're about to have that money flow crossover in the weekly. It topped out around 73% in January 2021. That was a primarily Bitcoin fueled rally. The real time to get into altcoins, Bitcoin bottomed out in, December 18, but it still outperformed the altcoins in the way up as this Bitcoin dominance went up. So the time to really get into altcoins was when I got into them, a lot of them, December, January 2021, when it was just so high, when you get up to 73%, that area, that's the data we have on it now. So I would say, at minimum, 50, mid-50s, probably ideally 60 or higher to get into altcoins. This is the time to just get into Bitcoin. This is the time to put on your Bitcoin maximalist hat or your McDonald's hat or whatever. You're working at McDonald's, you're using that money, flipping burgers, 20 grand a year, there maybe even more. And you could, after a year of working, you could save up enough to get a full Bitcoin. Say you've been working there for a year, you got 20 grand. Yeah, you put on that McDonald's hat, you put on the Bitcoin Maxi hat when you drive to McDonald's or walk to McDonald's, and then you move it. You change it into your McDonald's hat when you work, and then when you leave the McDonald's, you put on back on the Bitcoin Maxi hat. I don't know why. That's probably the stupidest analogy, non-funny joke I've ever made. Disregard that. But we're gonna come up higher with Bitcoin. There's no reason to really be messing around with alts right now. Some people, they're trying to catch falling knives. The alts right here. If you're long in alts and you're way ahead, now would be a time to try to take some profits on that. So yeah, I mean, and this is, I do think we're going to come up some more. I do think these profits are going to be hit. I do think we're going to make some money for charity here. I think I have 5 days the way it works. It's automatically closed out in like 4 days, I believe. 3 or 4 days, so it better pump up quickly. However, if we get close to that time and we're at 21 something and I'm in profit, the entry points here are mid 21s, and then we could just take a couple grand or whatever, donate 2 grand to charity. So yeah, but this is the time to be very, very Bitcoin heavy. What's that 17K? You got to be more specific. I don't really have, people say a lot of numbers like, the 4 hour. Yep. We were talking about that. Yeah. Another one's about the forum. it could be in a few months, Ahmad. It could be sooner. I've talked about it. It could be, we could start to see that Bitcoin pump in a couple months towards the end of the year, while the S&P 500 still acts like very recession-y bear market. We could see Bitcoin start to act as that hedge. It already is that hedge, you know, in a lot of ways, because but it already is a hedge in a lot of ways. I mean, you're still already, you know, when we go down to 12K or something, that's going to be where it's tough. But yeah. Well, this isn't clickbait. I have a 50K position. This is worth about 50K. I'll show you the position here, guys. Where is it? This is a $50,000 position, essentially. We have 1.75 Bitcoin this long and 0.33. So this is about a bit over two Bitcoins, and in this position it's close to 50K, somewhere around 50K, our long position. But yeah. What's up, what up, Fresh? Remember, my father used to always tell me I should work at McDonald's after I graduated college. He actually told me, yeah, during my graduation I would end up working at McDonald's. Great guy. Like Carl. Yeah, hit the like button. Subscribe, guys. Awesome, Johnny. All right, guys. So, you know, what else can we look at here? So, you know, money flow coming up. So if we repeat, you know, something like this in the 6 minute, and back up on the 6 minute, you could come back up to, you know, 21.8, something like that. In shorter term, something like this. You know, that's what we're looking at for the short term, next few hours. I can see that happening. And if that happens, you're probably going to get, you know, your 4 hour, another 4 hour green dot here. You're probably going to get another hourly green dot. You're probably going to get a money flow crossover in the 30 minute, maybe. So yeah. Just hovering around this area, just floating around here on ETH. Hovering. That blood diamond, that's your bearish case. That blood diamond is not the best thing. It's generally your bearish case right there. That does look good on your 2 hour. You know, just curving up there with the money flow. Pretty soon, Alex. I think we could get, you know, and we could stay, you know, let's zoom out a little bit here. Let's look at, you know, a situation like this. We had little rallies in between, you know, we had, say this is about, you know, something like here, August, and then maybe bottom out September. You know, it's more choppy, you know, with some big, you know, signs of reversals in between. You're very overdue to have more of a situation like this, or like this, or like this. I mean, I don't know, the volatility of somewhere like this, or like this, you know what I mean? Or like that. Yeah, that wasn't too long, but yeah, you know, you get what I'm saying. Thanks, man. So, you could be right. Anything could happen. So the next place we got to look at, if we lose 20K, let's talk about that case. So, you know, let's say we lose 20K. Next place in 18. got a big pocket here, the 17. That's going to be big because once you get down to these, sub 20 levels, if we do end up there, relatively soon, once we do get to these sub 20 levels, we end up hitting some big points. And you see, you start to have some more confluence. Like, you start to have support and resistance points. We don't have that too much here. We got the psychological area of 20K, but other than that, not too much. You got 18K. You got the double spiral line area, 17. That coincides with this. After that, maybe a tiny bit, 16. Really after that, 13, 12. You start to really see stuff at like 11, 12. That's where you really start to see like major support where price is really sticking. You see all these areas. So yeah, 10 to 12. It would be unlikely just to drop down that quickly though. Like, I mean, because I was looking at, just percentages of like big drops, sustainable drops. And there's not many that are like too much more than 40%. Say you come down to, 42, 45, it would be unlikely to go farther down than there. You're going to get relief here, relatively soon. You're going to get some type of relief, whether it's off of this point right now or off of, 17K. I'm not entirely sure, but you're going to get that. And you'll probably be range bound for a bit. It would be kind of unlikely for us just to go to 17, 18K if we're going to go there. Also, logarithmic spiral line, 18.9. So the 18.9 area is huge. That's a very, very big area. And the 17.8. So we have a lot of stuff over here. Unlikely, yeah. I'm sure ADA and DOT did have little pumps, but in terms of like a long-term kind of accumulation, let's look at DOT. I like the music. We basically lost that point. God knows how low this is going to go if Bitcoin goes to 12K, but next big place is there. Let's look at some of the lower time frames because I haven't done like in-depth analysis on these lately. Decent curvature there. It looks like everything else. Oh, that's not good. That 10 hours not good. Could be a fluke. Could be a fluke. I mean, you had this one. Came up, then down. They take time to play out, so could be like that one. That's not good. I would stay away from these at the moment. Cardano on just reject on there. Blood diamond under 2-day confirmed. Seems inedible. 30 cents. 30 cents or 15 cents are two big areas. If, let's see what percentage, 15 cents is from 48. That's 70% down essentially from where we are right now. And, 70% down from where we are right now. It would make sense if Bitcoin goes down to 12K or 10K or something like that. Yeah. This down to 70% easily. Down 70% from where we are. I do think you'll bottom out on the next weekly green dot whenever that happens. The next red dot on the weekly will be the catalyst that probably brings you down to the bottom, wherever that may be. These look, ADA and DOT definitely look worse than Bitcoin right now, in my opinion. So yeah. Zero? Oh boy. Oh boy, man. Zero for Bitcoin? Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. All this for nothing. all this time for nothing. Yeah, you can use MC for anything. Oil, anything. It keeps getting lower what people say it could go to, like every time we make a new low, which kind of makes sense, you know. Lower it goes, the momentum. But yeah. Let's see here. I've looked at oil a bunch of times. Let's see, what else do we want to own? Or Ave, we could... How low is Ave? I don't know. This could die out here, honestly. But the thing is, the daily is printing that rare bullish sign on a lot of these, that rare bullish dip. I mean, when's the last time you had a bullish dip like that? It was right here, and then you just came down farther. No, I mean, you had a little bit of a relief. You know, you would come back up to, this is so volatile, like 84 or something. 60. So we're down 90%, yeah. I feel like you need to have some type of just this psychological area of 90%. I feel like people gotta buy it, you know what I mean? It was 92, now it's slightly up. Yeah. Cardano went down 98% in the last bear market and came all the way back and made new all-time highs. Can you believe that? That is insane, to be down 98% and come back all the way and make new all-time highs. That is something. Let's go oil. I've said wait for this next bearish div on the weekly to get out of oil or to at least take profits. But yeah, I think at this point with oil, you're kind of just, I mean, I think you can get up to 120 in the next few months. That would be like $6-7 a gallon probably. It's definitely doable. I could see that happening, but at the other side of it, you know, there are indications that we're topping out. Yeah, I mean, you got money flow coming out while you're just confirmed that bearish div while you're rejecting from the point. So it's looking a little worse than it has been. The real test, you know, is just the weekly here. Crypto Face thinks it's going to go up more. You know, it's getting to the point where you're kind of selling your bags to the people who went along, but it's either obviously going to be rejected from this point, or this point's going to act as support rather than resistance. Excuse me, and it brings us all the way up to 120 or whatever. So yeah. We ought to look at the SPY. I mean, that's down a lot. Yep. I did not think we would just come down that quickly to, what are we at, 366? Yeah, I thought it would take a little bit longer. In between there, you know, just a nice clean rejection off of that level, bam, down. 350, I think you're kind of due to bounce around a little bit, if that makes sense, something like that. You know, something like that, bounce around, but seems just like we're going down. Weekly, you know, look for that red, you know, that rare buying opportunity. It goes into the red on the weekly here. That hasn't happened in many years, so, you know, it could, you weren't at the exact bottom, but you were, well, almost. You were pretty close. By the time I confirmed, you probably were. Yeah, you were by the time I confirmed, so that was good. Did come down a bit lower after, so. This was, early 2016. Time before that, yeah, you came in a teeny weeny bit, 2012, and then before that, you know what this was. Great Recession. Ooh, that was, yeah, it was almost like you came back, everybody, it's okay, and then, ooh, then you come down the roller coaster. Yeah. How much are we down from our all-time high now? 24%, so first time we've come down this much since the Great Recession. And you know, if you just wanted to map out, you know, what was 25% from? Yeah, right around there. So it's kind of like that area. So yeah, you still had a lot more carnage, but you know, you weren't one of those. You know, it's the difference kind of between you only had to wait 2 years to get back to your buy-in point. Yeah, you only had to wait 2 years rather than like these people up here waited 6 years or whatever. You only had to really wait. Well, from okay, let's say, yeah, so you got in here, July 08. You had to wait about 2.5 years. Yeah, so not as bad. And then yeah. But at this point, just wait till the weekly goes into the red. See if we go into a depression or not. I don't know. Who knows what could happen now? I mean, EMAs, every time you go into the gray, it's usually, unless you're talking about a recession, it's usually kind of good. Even this one, even though, you know, this recession from we're down 24%. So it would be kind of like getting in over here. And usually 25%, you do get a little bit of a bump. That's why I think we could get a bump for everything maybe next week, at least a little bit. And how long would you have to wait to get back? You know, if you bought in around here, March 01, oh man, 3 years about. So 2 or 3 years, that would be your scenario. Let's go all the way back to the Great Depression because people are asking me about that. And I like to look at the Depression, you know, the Great Depression. Great time. Great time to be alive. Right, the worst time to be alive. Worst time to be in the market. We got to go way back. Let's go on the weekly. Because, you know, well, the other one that's useful to look at first, you know, on our way back to those times is the early 70s. And the early 70s right here. So let's look, 24% down from the all-time high. It was around here. It's 24%. So right around there. So it's if you bought around there, how long would it have taken you to come back? December 73. 3 years. So it's about 3, and that's what I could see happening. You know, it would make sense to have, you know, some type of recession like that. You know, what was this correction here from the top there? That was a 50%. So yeah. And now here, I believe this was the depression. Yeah. The candles are different. They didn't have Heikkens back then. I was only 84%. The Dow was 90. 84% don't look too bad. You know what I mean? It don't seem as bad as that. Don't look as bad as, you know, compared to like we're used to that. That's like Bitcoin, you know, type deals. But yeah. What's interesting on this is if you look at the weekly, you had already bottomed out by time you got into the red there. Which, you know, this was just, how long did this take? July 29 to it took a few years actually. That weekly was just so overheated when you finally you know, you started coming down, and look what gave us it, you know. Both bearish div and money flow coming out in your weekly, that called the top, and then bam, you're out. They even had yellow X's back then. But even in those crazy times, you know what I mean, like see what this pump was from 32 to, I don't even know when the U.S. entered the war, but yeah, 32, 37. And then it just gradually came up. What year, was it 41 the U.S. entered the war? Yeah, because it was coming back down. Yeah, it was looking, yeah, it was almost, yeah, it was doing bad. You know, you had this is probably some money printing, some crap, you know, some nonsense that was kind of an illusion. You know, it wasn't really doing any better, but then, yeah. I remember learning about this in Mr. Griffin's class. God rest his soul. He died. He was a big conspiracy theorist, Tom Griffin. He believed that, I think FDR, and I don't know if this is true or whatever. I mean, I know some of you guys are into conspiracy theories. the FDR actually knew about Pearl Harbor ahead of time and kind of let it happen because he wanted to enter the war to save the economy and save his legacy. I'm not going to comment on what I think about that. I have no idea. I'm ready to write like we had to do a assignment in that class about like Pearl Harbor or something to do with World War II, and I got 100 on it because I just repeated what Mr. Griffin said about that conspiracy theory in the assignment and did very well. He screamed at me at the top of his lungs one time. I mean, he was mentally like pretty unstable, that teacher. Interesting guy though. He was out there. Mr. Bullish, when do you think daily will take off? Bitcoin's dumping. Let's see. It's dumping a little bit. Yeah. Okay. It is dumping. Yeah, who knows here? Who knows? I mean, this is the time too. I mean, you want to have cash too, and I know cash is trash. You want to have at least some type of hedge against inflation. I mean, something that hasn't pumped up like crazy, like oil, like gold, silver. If you don't have any cash, because cash, is still trash, obviously. But for temporary periods, it won't be like now. Something to trade over to Bitcoin. Something to trade over to the S&P 500 when we get into that, and when we get into the red in the weekly here. Let's take a look at the DXY, because I believe it was starting to come down a little bit. Hardly. Yeah, okay, so a little bit of a double top. So the way we could do this to estimate where this is going to end up, and I think it's going to get up to here probably in the next few months. And I think oil will probably go up a bit more too. You're going to get something like this, and then you're going to get a red dot around August or something, and that'll give you the top for the DXY, and it'll be at least at 110 or something. And that's when you will either create a local bottom with S&P 500 or a real bottom, and probably a real bottom with Bitcoin. And if the S&P 500 keeps going down more, then you could have Bitcoin act as an inflation hedge for the first time ever and start to come up. People will still say it isn't though, because it's below an all-time high. You know what I mean? Like if Bitcoin, pops from like 16K or 20K to 30 or 40K while the S&P keeps going down, people just say it's a fluke or whatever, the naysayers, but the Bitcoiners, they'll say it was legit. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. And that's very bullish overall because it's acting as a inflation hedge. Gold, I think it's pretty inevitable we will get to 2,500 in the next few years. Could be 2023, 2024, this area. After that, 3,000. So these two places are big. I think now is probably the time to get a position in this. I mean, your total portfolio, what position, what percentage should you have in gold or silver or whatever? I'd say maximum in precious metals is probably like 5%, I would say. I mean, even Peter Schiff has a small, even somebody who's so big on that, like you gotta realize he makes most of his money selling gold. He doesn't make any money investing in gold. He makes money selling gold and selling. He doesn't make money investing in gold. He makes money with having a brand around gold. It's his brand. It's it's Schiff Gold. It's not Peter Schiff investing his money in gold. It's Peter Schiff Gold. It's the brand. He puts his name on that. So I don't even know how that was relevant to this, but yeah. You should have, I'd say, maximum 5%. Low single-digit numbers in gold. You could do, I would say, 3% in gold, 2% in silver are great areas. There's Pax Gold, the crypto. If you want to. This is important too to talk about, in terms of now everybody's shaking because of Celsius, and it's not looking good. Obviously, I had a small amount of some Matic and AVAX on there. Nothing crazy. I said from the start, for many months I've repeated, and a lot of people have told you this. it should never be a large amount of your crypto portfolio on, you know, on centralized platform staking. Maximum probably 20% of your crypto portfolio, maybe 30% if you're more ballsy. And it should be spread out between a lot of the different platforms in case one goes down. So, you know, I had a little bit. I had maybe somewhere between 5 to 10 grand on Celsius. That's probably gone now. But that's okay because, you know, I had the rest of my 30% of my, like, and it was mainly risky. Hope we didn't just cut out here. It was mainly risky altcoins too. Risky altcoins too that are in staking. So I think if the staking exchanges stand the test of time, you know, then the altcoins will as well. So I had an equal amount on, you know, Gemini. I had an equal amount in Kraken. I had an equal amount on Crypto.com. I had an equal amount in BlockFi. And maybe one other aside from Celsius, but Celsius went down. I don't think anybody else is going to go down. I mean, in terms of where I think it's probably the safest ones are going to be ones with the lowest yield rates. Probably Crypto.com and Gemini are going to be the safest ones because, you know, Gemini's yield rates are very low. They're extremely doable. So that's what I would say would be the best bet there. Gold, it hasn't seen that pump yet. You're probably going to get that pump at some point here. You know, you could get high into the green on this monthly. The 3-month, you know, this is what people compare it, you know, based on inflation, based on how we were in the 70s, I believe. Yeah, it looks very similar to the early 70s. Bam, you just shot up. So I don't think you're going to repeat that. But on this scale we're looking at, you could come up to this point, you know, somewhere like this or this in the next, you know, 5 to 10 years. So that's huge. What percentage is this? It's probably nothing too spectacular. We're at 8.55 right now. It's probably a good buy-in price right here, actually. 30% and 70. So yeah. So that's that. Bitcoin dumping. Oof. 4 yellow X's under 10 minute. Let's look at this chart. Are we hitting? Not hitting anything. Okay. This is pretty rough. Those yellow X's do screw you up a little bit too. 4 yellow X's here in a 10 minute. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. It is a rough market. Still trying to get that daily. Yeah, just rolled right over under 6 minute. Hitting a point right now, so it would make sense to have a little bit of a little jump right now. No, nothing right there. Nah. Maybe we'll test that spiral line. Double bottom pattern. We'll see. We'll see. How about you elaborate on that? Just elaborate on how that would work, because I used to work in law. You know, I know plenty of lawyers. I know a lot of lawyers, and I'm not I'm not particularly sure. You know, I've done a lot of, you know, settlements. That stuff takes time. You know, ASAP. Yeah, that's not, you know, to do a full-out settlement and all that. Yeah, that's not. You know, sometimes, you know, you do settle cases quickly, but everybody and their brother is sending letters to Celsius's registered agents and lawyers right now, and yeah, that's not. I wish it was that easy, but yeah, because I would have all my money back immediately right now if that was the case. Yeah, what do you think what was your bottom prediction again, man? You've been very bearish, but you've been right. What was your bottom prediction, Nicole? Was it 12K? Bitcoin dominance falling off a cliff. It'll come back. 6-hour yellow X. These yellow X's are really, man. No, it's not on there. Not yet. Not on Bitstamp. Maybe on Coinbase. Let's look at the Coinbase chart because the spiral lines are a little bit different. I don't know if it means. Yeah, I don't have any of this. I drew some more on the Bitstamp chart, so now let's just look at the Bitstamp chart. Yeah, those yellow X's ain't fun. Come on, turn around. Just give us a little bit of something here. Please, just turn around now. But yeah. It's a small claims court. The issue is if it's a bankrupt company, how does that work? Can you link? I don't know if, like, I mean, mine is under 25. That's after years. Yeah, this is accurate. Yeah. It's a gray area because the laws in crypto are weird. You know what I mean? It's basically so unregulated. So yeah. I think when regulation probably goes, regulation really passes in a few months in Congress or wherever, that'll probably mark the bottom. That'll probably wipe out a lot of altcoins, and that'll probably be a major buying opportunity. So what can we look at here? I mean, losing that level. This does happen though sometimes where you bounce around. It looks like you're going to lose the level, and then you just come right back up. So I wouldn't, you're deep in the red here. I wouldn't get completely 6 hour. Okay, 6 hour yellow X. Yeah, not looking too good. Some of these don't play out as well though. So if you something like that brought you back to the because this one, yeah, it's not looking as good. It's not looking as good. Man, tough market. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bounce. Yeah, and then. I didn't see this. When did this come out? He's getting sued for Doge by the SEC or for who for tweeting about it. There's been some people tweeting, some interesting tweets on on Twitter about tweets on Twitter on Twitter about what could happen with Celsius. It's not looking too good. Like, let's be real. I think there's, it's a better, this wasn't as obvious of a Ponzi or something that would go bankrupt like, UST. Like UST was a very obvious Ponzi. Celsius was, it was doable. And I remember I was kind of teasing them at the Bitcoin conference. One guy was like, I was like the guy, and some of these people who work for Celsius or any of these kind of tech startups, most of them are kind of, or the guy for TaxBit was just like telling me how it's free, it's 100% free, and I'm just like, yeah, I know there's like some basic thing that's free, but actually, for something like anyone who has a decent amount of crypto, like it's not free, and I mean, if it was free, I'd be kind of suspicious of it. And, the guy for Celsius I was talking to, he was just like, yeah, it's not a Ponzi. And I made like a joke. I'm like, what's your inside information telling you about where Bitcoin's so bottom? I was like, I don't have inside information. I'm like, dude, I'm just joking, man. I'm just trying to make a conversation. And I wonder if they, I don't know if it's like public info, how many people they laid off or whatever. Everyone knows inflation is on fire. What is this, ground meat right here? Yeah, grass-fed organic. I've been paying a lot. That's interesting because I don't look at prices like when I buy my steaks, but I do buy the grass-fed organic, ribeyes, and that's what they're costing me. That's a lot, right? I'm not the type of person who, for obvious reasons, to look at prices when I'm buying groceries, But as long as I'm not spending like $200 on a piece of steak, I'm probably not gonna really notice or care, but it does seem high. It's really good for you too. You can grass-fed steaks. Guys, I don't know if I should need to tell you this though. I mean, Jason Casper's probably already told you this, but stay away from seed oils. Butter, beef tallow, those are good things to cook with. Seed oils are bad. I don't know. It's looking like the time too, and I've said this before, to probably get out of America. Like honestly, like not any type of advice, but just what I'm really thinking about. I mean, my lease ends in a few months. I almost may bite the bullet and just get out earlier. It might, because cost of living and the places to go. Look, the good places to go, and if you haven't been to any of these places, I'd recommend going on a trip or something. Just to see what it's like, and you will be amazed. I was in Mexico for the first time a few months ago. It was incredible. Mexico, Central America, South America, all amazing places. Costa Rica, a lot of people love. A lot of those countries are great. Mexico, like I said, Southeast Asia, pretty incredible. I've been to Thailand, haven't been anywhere else in Southeast Asia. Thing about Southeast Asia is everybody's blowing, polluting and just blowing smoke there. My sinuses were kind of bad, so if you're somebody, it's not like there's no admissions test there. It's not like it's not like the first world, but they're great places too. Bali too, I've heard great things. Those are the two main places you kind of want to go. I mean, those are the best bang for your buck right now. Those are pretty incredible. That's what I'm looking to. I mean, in terms of proximity to the West, Mexico, Costa Rica are the big two. Costa Rica is getting more expensive. I think Mexico is quite a bit cheaper. But that's, those are places I'm looking at. And, you don't have to just see. I would recommend see how you like it first. Just go for a few weeks, go for a month. And the other problem, too, is let's take a quick look at housing prices, or not flight prices. Let's say if we wanted to fly, I was just looking to fly to Ho Chi Minh City. This is Vietnam, and if we wanted to go, let's say let's do it on a cheap day. Say we got 2 months. We want to go to. This is a one-way, mind you. When I flew to Thailand, it was around a few years ago. It was a round trip. I paid $1,300, $1,200, something like that. Now it's I don't think it's completely loaded. There's got to be some better ways to get to Vietnam than from a major airport like Miami. There's got to be some better ones loading, but that's a pretty good deal. Okay, that's not too bad. It went cheaper. That's it, but it's for a one way. That's a lot. Flights are getting to be really expensive. Let's say I wanted to go to. I haven't booked it yet, but I'm probably going to go to Costa Rica. Let's say I want to go to San Jose, Costa Rica, and then let's say when I want to do it, let's do a round trip. Something realistic of what I would actually do. Let's say I wanted to do this. So I want to go to a month from now. Let's say something more to stay 2 weeks. Okay, $360, but once you add in $500, I mean, this is only a 2-hour flight for $500-600 round trip. Usually these are. I know once you add in a carry-on and select a seat, it's going to be $600-700. These have doubled, kind of what they typically are. So that's something to look at too. Let's add on. Let's see if it gives us $700-750 with the carry-on bag. So they get you. And then if you select a seat, it's probably another $30. You're getting up to $800 for a flight that months ago or a year ago should be around $300 to $400 round trip. And this is not a long flight. This is a 3-hour flight. So it may get to the point where it's going to cost you a lot more to get out if you want to, but it's probably boring you guys. West coast of Mexico is great too. I don't know. Is that in Mexico? I don't know where that is. I don't know. Dominican Republic is great too. From what I heard, Colombia is pretty good. Seed oils, read about that, Google that. There's a lot of people talking about that. Puerto Rico, that's still part of America. 70-80%. So you think Bitcoin could go down 70 to 80% from current levels. 12-16K, which would Bitcoin always been with. Major, okay. So we're kind of in the same ballpark there. I'd say 12K, 12.5K kind of worst case scenario, 400 weekly moving average. And yeah, that's that. And then, yeah, 70-80% for current alts. Some of them, what's interesting, have held up a little bit better. So for Cardano and some of the big boys, it's probably going to be less than that. But yeah, I mean, some of them definitely can. To Europe, I've lived I studied abroad in Italy, when I was in college for a semester. Europe's pretty cool. I mean, I want to be somewhere where it's, a little bit cheaper. I mean, where, there's other reasons too why Europe's kind of like the same level of America, but definitely there's more places I want to see in Europe, like Norway, Ireland I haven't been to, Iceland I haven't been to, kind of Northern Europe I haven't really been to. I've been to a lot of more of the places in like Southern Europe. Europe's nice though. Just market cipher for TA. Yeah, I only use market cipher for all my TA, and fib levels and spiral lines. But let's look at what's happening in the market right now. Did anything happen? So we rebounded $100 in Bitcoin, big whoop. Not that big a deal here. And now it could play games with you. This market could play games with you, and you don't want to be too deterministic here. I mean, you could easily just come back up, pump back up to 22, 23K here. This is going to be where you have some sideways, some weird volatility. You got your 4 yellow X's, and how that works is you look for some sell exhaustion after the 4 yellow X's. You still have money flow coming up on the 10-minute. You still got money flow generally coming up on the 6-minute. So be careful no matter what you do here. Let's take a quick look at funding fees on BITGET. They've been more positive than I've liked them to be for going long. They were negative this morning. Now it's like pretty much half and half. Still positive on the invert. Yeah, so it's no man's land. That could really go either way. What is it? It's negative on the USDC perpetual. So if you're trading on USDC, they added that in too. I believe that's the only thing you could trade USDC on Bitcoin. But it's like weird. They don't let you do it on isolated. It's only cross leverage. I don't like that. That's why I'm not doing that. Not yet. But yeah, there's always opportunities. This is like right here. You're kind of hitting something. You know what I mean? You're hitting, not that, but you're hitting something right here. You're something's going on here. Something's cooking here. This is a fib level. We kind of want to from this. Yeah. This is what we want to look at. Yeah, right there. And if we could get a bullish div from here, then that could give you some sauce. That could give you a little bit of gas. Are we still printing the? Yeah, you still got that there. 3 hours, most likely that will confirm. I think you'll just be sideways for the next 3 hours. If that confirms, you got some hope for a little bit of a rally here. You got some hope here. And SPY down, 24, 25%. You got some hope here. And it's exciting that we're getting to these prices too, because even look at, let's look at Tesla. I'll tell you when I'm waiting, to buy Tesla and to buy the SPY and all this stuff. And, really, let's be real. Tesla's probably going to outperform, the SPY. And, once we get into the red in the weekly here, down 48%. I think it's going to go down a bit more, maybe 60%. It could be a nice double bottom pattern. It's 2 blood diamonds. I mean, with everything else looking the way it is, 3-day is in the red here. 3 days in the red. Yeah, I mean, you got that yellow X. I think you're going to come down a bit more. 4s. This is the big pocket you want to look for, or whenever the weekly goes into the red. You just entered into your EMAs turning gray here on the weekly. Let's see what happened that time down there. That's interesting, because most of the times that happened, you were You were close. I mean, you were kind of getting there. These two, this one you went down farther. 2019. Yeah. If you could just come back up just a little bit more. Problem is you may get some resistance here and then you just come down farther, but yeah. If you get that next, Australia. You're in Australia, man? Monthly blood diamond for June. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people like, I mean, Europe with everything going on. I wouldn't want to be too close. I wouldn't want to be in Eastern Europe with everything going on right now. But yeah, Tibet is part of China, right? Yeah, Tibet's part of it. Can Americans even go to China? Austria, I haven't been to. I've been to the Czech Republic though. Saudi Arabia, yeah. Dubai, I want to go to. But yeah, where in the west coast of Mexico? What like? I know Puerto Escondido. Somebody told me about. Well, I know, but I want to get out of the west. I know a lot of you guys like Europe because you live there, but I want to get out of the first world Western countries. Let's look at the monthly on Bitcoin. I don't know. I haven't looked at the monthly. No, we gotta. No, there's no. It's kind of just the same with the red X. Thing with this is, they signify bottoms, within the next few months, these red X's. The next, the thing too here is like the green. The green signifies like bottoms, signifies starts of new bull runs essentially. So the next green dot in the monthly there, that's what we want to look at. That hourly, it's kind of our bullish hope. Just come up with the money flow. That's what we need to come up with the money flow in the hourly. What is happening right now? Yeah, we're pumped. Yeah, that's just how this market is. You're gonna see that choppiness. You're gonna see, it's gonna be a lot of fake outs here. You're gonna see a lot of weird stuff going on. Now we're getting, yeah. Let's just see too. Like, let's go back to, we essentially went back in time. When you come down, you're like back in time, it feels like. So we're back to like December 2020. So we're not back to when I first started going really heavy in Bitcoin. We're not there yet. But, if we do go back to 12K, 16K, where would we be? Like kind of minuscule, still into 2020. 12K, still into 2020. So 2 years back in time, essentially. You're almost 2 years back in time here. Well, yeah, December 2020. That was a big, what was this? Because I remember when I was getting in around 10K, I got a 3X before anything. You went to 30K before, or 40K. No, I got a 4X, excuse me. 300% 4X before anything. Wow. That was just insane. And yeah. You gotta get there. You gotta do this. You gotta do this, guys. I will look on my phone. Let's see who that is. I mean, there's a lot of people that, you know, for obvious reasons, stuff with dollar. Oh, I found them. Yeah, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico is also, yeah, I haven't been there. I've only been to the East Coast, like Playa del Carmen and Tulum. South Africa. Bali is a good idea. Is CSGP? I have no idea what that is. Let's look it up. It's a stock. Looks like a lot of the other stocks. I wouldn't be, you know, I would not be going for this, you know, on a yellow X on the weekly. I'd wait, you know, a little bit longer. You know, just look. I mean, your next. What I think could happen to it, like it would make a lot of sense to get to a point like here, like your pre-pandemic dump point, like 42 or something like this for a lot of things, you know, right before that, you know what I mean, that general area, to come back there. And where would that bring us on the SPY? I just want to see what level that would be. You know, that would make that would make a lot of sense. I'm not saying we're going to go there, but you know, for a recession area, 30% down is definitely in the cards, especially after all this pumpage. Just give this all away, you know what I mean? Just go back in time, go back to January. It's kind of cool because it's like traveling time, like going back in time. Have you ever thought about doing that, like being able to time travel, you know, like Back to the Future, like, you know, when you're a kid, you think about that type of stuff. But you know, like going, like, you know, just think about it. If you could go back, you know, just to feel some of the same thing, the great things you felt in 2019 twice. Like I'm just thinking about like what I was doing in December 2019. That was a fun. Let's see, in March right before COVID, I accepted the job as a paralegal, but I wasn't really working at this point. I think I was doing like a podcast. Yeah, I was doing a bunch of freelance work at that point, but December 20, it was a fun time. I was in Connecticut. I explored a lot. You know, you go back to those times, met a lot of amazing people, did a lot of fun stuff. But yeah, November I took a trip down to Miami, but you guys don't even care. But yeah, this area, and then I'm trying to think. You know, what signs were there on the weekly? The weekly, when you get that bearish div, yeah, you get that bearish div, and money flow starts coming out. Then you know. I remember talking to one of my friends while we were working out all this beginning of March, all this was happening, and I remember looking at this at like 220. I remember these numbers, looking at this like when I was starting my new job, like whenever there's some free time, I was just looking at this, and you know, I didn't know enough about the market at the time. I put some in, definitely at the bottom here, Bitcoin at the bottom here too. This is before I got really into the market. And I think I sold around here or something, you know, took the money and ran. And it was a nice amount because that, you know, if you got in down here and then all the way to the top 55 right up, it took what to come back, you know, a couple months straight up, yeah. That was a volatile time. But you come back to here, I don't think you'd come this low. You're starting to get into like especially if this happens quickly, you're getting into like depression areas. But you know, I do think it would make sense to come back in time to there. Triple bottom on the. This guy always just says TA that's not happening, like cup and handle patterns when the market's coming down. Like this guy doesn't, but he always gets it right. Like his TA is like his own TA. Like he just makes the TA up as he goes, but he always gets it right. Let's see. Like in the ocean, I didn't know the crocodile. Oh wait, are there crocodiles in the ocean? I don't know about that. I feel like the crocodiles. Aren't the crocodiles only in Australia? Like I gotta read about that. I feel like I would have heard about that if there's like crocodiles in the actual ocean in Puerto Vallarta. I feel like people would know about that. Let's see on the SPY. Is there a triple bottom? No, there's nothing. There's not even a double. There's nothing. 1, 2. Okay, maybe. Yeah. Are we recovering in post market? A little bit. Coming back. We're coming back here. Coming back here, guys. What else can we look at? I mean, is there any like high volume? I don't use the. I only use the high volume nodes when it's like this isn't gonna. I know like if I do it right now, it's not gonna give you much here. Oh, it's already on my. Yeah, that area. You see, when we're just range bound, that would have been a decent place to look for trades. We could try to see. I mean, you're not gonna get much because if you go on the daily here, no, I don't wanna. I just wanna move. Yeah, that's not 38K. That ain't happening for a while. Yeah, so we don't even have. We'd have to look at it probably on like the hourly or something. Let's call it logarithmic just to lessen lines so we actually load up quicker here. Right there. Yeah, 21 point. So it's telling us we get a little bit of confidence there. So I could see us coming back up to that. So, yeah. I think once you lose, like if we do lose 20K here, that's where it really gets very, 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 very fearful. Yeah, so Sick Buffalo, I'll show you. It's on the 16 hour. If you just look at the deep anchor wave that was confirmed, that's basically in the last time we had one, it gave you the 28% move, the percent up. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying it's definitely possible. We come down so much. I mean, if it doesn't happen off of this point, it's probably going to happen off of 18K or something, 19K. But yeah, in the ocean, some girls attacked by a gator in the water outside a resort hotel. Jeez, that is interesting. Yeah, I'll look at the Discord. If you just asked it on the stream, I couldn't see it yet, but I will definitely take a look. Shout out to Ahmad. He's a big supporter. Getting that 15-minute bullish div, that's a good sign. I mean, it confirms the 13 minutes here. I think you'll stay range bound for a bit. Probably come up a bit here. Tomorrow's Friday. You know, we're getting into Friday. We're getting into the summer now. I mean, when does summer start? What's the date? Summer probably starts in a few days. It'll be the longest like sunsets, and make sure you get some sun too. The sun's good for you. We're going to Vegas next week. If anybody's in Vegas, let me know. Just a fair warning, I'm not good at gambling or anything like that. I'd have to really study up on blackjack or Texas Hold'em. Texas Hold'em I'm okay at, but it's still like, it's been a few years since I really studied it. Let's see. I'm trying to see the first day of summer. Whatever. It doesn't say on my calendar. Oh well. We're getting into that summer though. Summer is like a fun time because it's like a lot of energy. You know, it's warm. I mean, I live in Florida, but it's still it's warmer than it is in the winter. Like, you know, there's a big difference. Even if you're living in Miami, like there's in terms of humidity and heat and sunlight, like there's more of that. It still is a difference. Like you got to be in like Singapore or on the equator to really not notice the difference. Probably like when I was in Thailand or whatever. That's where you're probably close enough to the equator and not notice the difference of seasons. But yeah. Let's see here. Crocodiles or saltwater. Yeah, I didn't, man. I'm I'm ignorant to that. I thought crocodiles were only in Australia, though. Thoughts on Netflix? 21st of June, thank you. So it's a few more days to get in the summer. So Netflix is going to be probably the what you want to wait here for is your magic 2 week. Yeah, the 2 week is, I don't know what this line. So you got that green dot. It's going to confirm in 22 hours. And, you know, I wouldn't be, just based on how the market looks, based on how everything looks, I wouldn't be jumping in just yet. But, you know, if we come down, let's draw like a long fib level. Let's draw like something where we could, you know, are we, okay, we don't have, yeah, that's kind of the issue here. You don't have another, because how this mathematically works, you've already lost all those levels. Let's just do something wild. Like, let's just see what does this give us from the bottom here to top there. That's, yeah, so you're getting in, what's this point? 150 something. Getting in there. I think he could even go a little bit lower, like 100 maybe. I don't think it's the worst time to get into this, but I think you want to wait till that 2 week goes in the red and then wait for a 2 week bullish div. That would probably mark your bottom. Maybe something like, you see this pattern, this is a 2 week, not a bullish div, but, you know, 2 week deep dot. Kind of like this, but I don't know if this one will mark your bottom. That's what's, oh my, that is just insane how it held up so well in 08. Because what was that? Some of the things do hold up in great. Yeah, I mean, that held up for Netflix. That held up well for something like for the market cap of. Yeah, it was a small cap too. That's crazy. Yeah, some of the good companies, you know, the ones some of them do, and then in 2011, then it had a worse 80%. Yeah, so you never know with these, but. I'd wait till you come into the red in 2 weeks. That's why I'd wait, probably in a few months. Everything still points to bottoming out in September, October, or August, September, excuse me, in my opinion. So enjoy your summer, and at the end of it, you know, buy in August, September. It definitely can, and, you know, if history's any indication, it probably will, based on the 70s, based on what we've seen a lot of times, but, you know, anything could happen. But the thing is, too, like, once you get down, like, you know, 30% on the SPY, like, it usually, unless you're going into a depression, it usually doesn't, you know, get too much worse than that. There's a Bitcoin conference in Las Vegas. It's not for the Bitcoin conference. I'm just going there, but that's crazy if there is. When is the Bitcoin conference? Fidelity, tell me that, and I'll tell you if I'm going to be there for it. Because I'll go. If there's a Bitcoin conference in Vegas when I'm there, I'll at least stop by. We're in Nightshade. I don't see, like, there's probably a 1% chance we're not in a recession. We're essentially in a recession. Every time the SPY goes, I don't care what people are saying, you know, but every time the SPY goes, like, worse than 25% down, you're in a recession. Okay, how much do you think retail will affect the market once? I think the price is kind of already factored in for a recession. I think it's kind of known that we're in a recession, I think. Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it looks in a few months. I'm staying away for now. I'm staying away for now. I mean, what's it down? 80%, I think. 76. So, I don't know. I feel like you at least got to come down 80% here. You're so close to it. You at least got to come down to this or something. So, yeah. Apple. Wait till the weekly goes in the red. Yeah. Wait till the weekly goes in the red. You're probably going to lose. You're probably going to go to 100 for this, I would think. You're probably going to finally come down a good amount. You know, 100 or something. That's what I think. in a few months, yeah. And that's what, a 40%, 45%. $2 trillion market cap. Where would be maybe $1.5 trillion market cap? You bottom out. 20% down. That'd be only 160, 1.6 trillion. How's our buddy Amazon doing? How's Jeff Bezos doing? Yeah, what a clean rejection off of there. I think you inevitably are going to go into the red here, especially this 2 week. Just wait at least until this goes into the red, please. $86. Yeah. I mean, that's recession numbers. If you have a 55% dump for Amazon, that's brutal recession like area. For this hasn't had that type of correction in how long? I mean, what was this? 30. I mean, this hasn't had this. This was 08. What was? Yeah, Amazon was not. It was at what was the market cap then? Essentially 5% of what it was now. 5% of, I don't know. I do not know the math. Well, 10% of 1 trillion would be 100 billion. Yeah, 100 billion. $50 billion market cap. So yeah, we're due for something. But yeah, that 2 week. Once you get in the red in that 2 week, probably not a bad buying opportunity. Even, probably a worst case scenario for there, you'd come down another 64%. No, you'd probably come down another 30% worst case scenario from there, which ain't too bad. And Bitcoin, we're making a little bit of a comeback at the moment, as I've been saying, based on this. You can confirm in 5 minutes here on your 15. Can SPY go below COVID levels? That's a good question. Where would, I don't even know. Is that a, I think it's unlikely for the SPY to go below COVID levels in the next few quarters. You would probably be gambling with a recession at that point if you're just testing COVID levels in the next few quarters. In the next 2-3 years, sure, that would still just be a deep recession, kind of like early 70s or whatever, if that history repeats. I feel like there's the people who kind of were able to, 1 out of a million people or whatever, who were able to get into the exact bottom here. Usually it never goes to that point. Like, it could go to this point, 275 or something, but usually the people who are able to get in the, completely lowest wicks, kind of like the people who are able to get in Bitcoin at, like what was the pandemic level for Bitcoin? Let's see let's go to our weekly or whatever. What was that level? Oh, 38. It was almost lower. Yeah. Usually it never goes down to like, yeah, I don't, that's why I don't, kind of like, see here, if you got in on these bottoms at 30, it never really goes down that low. You still stay a decent amount above it. So here, sure, 275. To come down to 217, I doubt it. But, we'll see. We'll see. For some reason, I thought this was 5,000. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Yeah, I'm probably going to get off in a minute. How's our 4 hour? Yep, starting to curve back up deep in the red there, 15 minutes. So nothing's happening. Probably a good idea to hit the gym now, take a little bit of a break, get some stuff done, see what happens. If you get those 25% corrections too, or 20 to 25% corrections, you do usually have some type of thing. Somebody I was talking to was talking about 40%. Yeah, 40%, yeah. But you gained, even if you're buying at these levels right here, even if we do go into that major recession or depression or whatever, you're still, you missed out on a lot of the pain. You know what I mean? Because look, one, what's 25% down or whatever? There, you missed out on a lot of the pain. You saved a few years. You had only been 2 more years or whatever. This was rough here. That was a rough area from what was this, March of 02 to July of 02. That was a rough couple months. Well, we looked at pretty much everything I could think of even looking at. Green RSI dot for Bitcoin. Let's look at the weekly on Bitcoin. Yeah. Weekly on Bitcoin in terms of, let's look more at the RSIs. I mean, it does look similar to kind of, in terms of that red one right before you had their dump down. I mean, can you get, an earlier bottom rather than, well, from this one, November, kind of a month, can you get that bottom in July? Maybe, but I do think it'll take a little bit longer. It would only be, if you did get that, it would probably only be another 20% though, from there to there, another 10%, 11%, something like that. You do a 17, yeah. It'll be very interesting to see what happens. That daily right there. That daily could save us. That's what could give us our little rally up. Oh, and you guys wanted to see what, let me show you. 16, well, let me show you kind of the highest that it's probably printing or confirming on. Yeah, 22 confirmed. This deep anchor wave. See the last time this happened? Bam, you had a little bit of a rally here. See, you came up about, didn't bottom out yet. That's kind of the issue. You had a little wick down, but you came up 27%. So we will see what happens here. We will see. Yeah, I bought a bunch yesterday. And the day before, so. No, I don't use the data window. So, Bitcoin dominance dropping. It's a little bit of a fluke. People are just FOMOing to altcoins. I don't think it means much. Data window. I don't even... Where's the data window? I don't see it. Hold on. Under watch list? I don't even know where watch list is. I don't, you gotta get, oh, this? It like tells you what I look at maybe? Tells you what you look at. This? I don't know. I feel like this is just kind of, yeah. Imagine this is a secret the whole time. Just go by this. Just short when it says sell. On the right of my screen, third symbol. This. I don't. Oh. This. Data window. Yeah, I don't think it's just all the things there are. Gives you prices. I'm not sure what I could really use that for, but yeah. Anyway, guys, we're gonna get off now. Looked at about everything we could have looked at today. We got almost 100 likes in here. So you guys, hope you enjoyed the stream. So I'm gonna get off. If you're interested in my exclusive Discord, link in the description below. So my trade entry points, stop losses, take profits. We had some amazing shorts all the way down. Did really well on that. Longs have been a little bit iffy, but as I've been saying, it's been a lot smaller positions, smaller positions lately. Trying the longs right now because we made so much on the shorts, so it's kind of minuscule if you get stuffed out of a few of those. Not right 100% of the time. We do very well in there, and then some exclusive TA, long-term advice too, everything, and then I talk about stocks too and commodities too as well. A little bit less though. So yeah. And then if you're interested in my course, my trading course, link in description below. It's going to help you guys out a lot, I think. I go over risk management, trading psychology, everything that theoretically you need to be a profitable trader in this game. Nothing's guaranteed in life, but a lot of people really like the course, so check that out. BITGET FEMEX, good promos going on right now. Check out those links in the description below if you want to start trading. Those are my favorite 2 exchanges for leverage trading. So yeah, and they give you a bonus when you sign up and you deposit. So yeah, check those out. Use my links in the description below if you want to support the channel. Market Cypher, link in the description below with my discount code down below as well. And if you want to do a one-on-one coaching session with me, link in the description below as well. All right, guys. Hope you have a great day. I'm going to go to the gym now. All right, guys. Goodbye.